The 4 thoughts that turn the mind to the Dharma. I've actually just realized that I've been regularly screen sharing it, and so I'd like to do that as well at this time, just in case any of you want to follow, and give Jan time to join us. He just joined. This precious human form is difficult to obtain. It embodies opportunities and resources. Give us the energy to realize its potential. The ultimate foe, the Lord of Death, can come at any time. Give us the energy to live a life of no regret. The laws of the way things are work internally. Give us the energy to live without shame. Suffering is present in all 6 realms. Give us the energy not to take birth in these states. The reliable and definite refuges are the 3 jewels. Give us the energy to trust them. The 6 kinds of beings are as kind as our parents. Give us the energy for loving kindness and compassion. In the end, our mind is nothing but being as truth. Give us the energy to attain a stable understanding.
Okay. Okay. So I'll go ahead and read the Fifth Mindfulness Training. And this is really a full training. Oh my goodness. And so it's just a lot to even read it. So if you can just concentrate while I read it and share this. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful consumption, I am committed to cultivating good health, both physically and mental, for myself, my family, and my society, by practicing mindful eating, drinking, and consuming. I will practice looking deeply into how I consume the 4 kinds of nutriments, namely edible foods, sense impressions, volition, and consciousness. I am determined not to gamble or use alcohol, drugs, or any products which contain toxins, such as certain websites, electronic games, TV programs, films, magazines, books, and conversations. I will practice coming back to the present moment to be in touch with refreshing, healing, and nourishing elements in me and around me, not letting regrets and sorrow drag me back into the past, nor letting anxieties, fear, or craving pull me out of the present moment. I am determined not to try to cover up loneliness, anxiety, and other suffering by losing myself in consumption. I will contemplate interbeing and consume in a way that preserves peace, joy, and well-being in my body and consciousness, and in the collective body and consciousness of my family, my society, and the earth. So we will work on unpacking this mindfulness training over today and the next 2 weeks, next 2 meetings, that is. Thich Nhat Hanh starts out by speaking about how, in the context of individualism in our modern society, people think that their body belongs to themselves and that they can do anything that they want with it. But according to the teaching of emptiness, your body is not yours alone. Your body belongs to your ancestors, your parents, and to the future generations. It also belongs to society and all the other living beings. All have come together to bring about the presence of your body. Your ancestors, the trees, the soil, the water, everything has contributed to your creation. To keep your body healthy is to express gratitude to the whole cosmos, to all ancestors, and to not betray the future generations. We practice this mindfulness training for the whole cosmos, the whole society. And each time we decline taking in harmful food or drink or conversation or media, we do so for the benefit of all. And when we are healthy, all creation benefits from it. The first nutriment that the Buddha talked about is edible food. And that's what we will start with. When we eat mindfully, we are in close touch with our food. The food we eat comes to us from nature, from living beings, from the cosmos. To touch it with our mindfulness is to show gratitude. If we pick up our food and look at it for a second before putting it in our mouth, and then chew it carefully, we are able to be in touch with the entire cosmos. It is a joy and an art to eat in a way that brings mindfulness to life. Being in touch also means knowing whether toxins are present in the food. Most of us absorb toxins because so many unhealthy and addictive things are produced with the intention of creating more consumption. And a lot of sickness and violence and anger and despair around us are actually a result of the toxic consumption. So before we eat, we can practice breathing in and breathing out, and looking at the food on the table with gratitude. Thich Nhat Hanh suggests pronouncing the name of each dish, as calling each food by its name helps us to touch it deeply and realize where it's grown and see its true nature. Mindful consumption is a concrete path toward a more nourishing and healing society. I sent out a little email to everyone with the 4 contemplations that Thich Nhat Hanh gave to use before a meal. And the 4th one says, may we keep our compassion alive by eating in such a way that we reduce suffering of beings, preserve our planet, and reverse the process of global warming. This is huge. This is really an extensive commitment that can easily feel overwhelming. And yet I think it's how we all would like each other to be living. It requires awareness of the suffering which takes place at every level of the modern food chain, including farm workers, animals, the environment, packaging, and being aware of the ingredients of prepared foods we buy, and considering the distance food travels when it comes to market. And just as one of the big issues, plastics are currently wreaking havoc, and so many of our foods come in plastic. Tiny particles of plastics have been found everywhere, from the deepest place in the planet, the Mariana Trench, to the top of Mount Everest. And more studies are finding that these microplastics, the little bits that break off, are in human lungs, in our bloodstream, and in mother's milk. So meditation, wow, it's just a lot to take in and think about. But some of the things that have come up for me is how inclined I can be to compromise and want to eat what other people are eating when I'm in social situations. And I'm also very aware of our susceptibility to consuming, to convenience, our susceptibility to convenience, and to getting a bargain. We're always looking for sales as human beings, it seems like. And so our markets are flooded with unhealthy foods at low cost due to government subsidies. And organically grown food tends to be more expensive and less available. And so it's a commitment to pay more and eat simple, whole food diet. And yet it's like a commitment to funding a sustainable food chain that is healthy for all who are involved. So keeping our compassion alive by eating in such a way that we reduce suffering requires us to look deeply into how food comes to us from every time we shop and every time we sit down to eat. And also there's the whole, he brought up the issue of when we consume foods that have caused suffering, we're actually ingesting the suffering that has taken place in the process of creating the food we're eating. And it's a practice of self-compassion as well, to be mindful in this way. And then I'd like to end this little talk with the last of the 5 contemplations, which I found very delightful. It says, I accept this food in order to nourish our sisterhood and brotherhood, build our Sangha, and realize our ideal of serving all beings. So knowing that each time we eat, we are feeding each other and we are feeding our intentions.
And now I will share the Metta Healing for today, from Thich Nhat Hanh. Absorb the following prayer while focusing on yourself. May I be peaceful, happy, light in body and spirit. May I be safe and free from injury. May I be free from anger, afflictions, fear, and anxiety. May I learn to look at myself with the eyes of understanding and love. May I recognize and be in touch with the seeds of happiness within myself. May I identify and embrace the sources of suffering in myself. May I nourish the seeds of joy in myself every day. May I be fresh, solid, and free. May I be free from attachment and aversion, but not be indifferent. Now bring into your awareness all who are here today, our broader Sangha, our friends, and our family members. May you be peaceful, happy, and light in your body and spirit. May you be safe and free from injury. May you be free from anger, afflictions, fear, and anxiety. May you learn to look at yourself with the eyes of understanding and love. May you recognize and be in touch with the seeds of happiness within yourself. May you identify and embrace the sources of suffering in yourself. May you nourish the seeds of joy in yourself every day. May you live fresh, solid, and free. May you be free from attachment and aversion, but not be indifferent. Now bring forward those who you avert your eyes from on the streets or in the news, people you obsess over and hold aversion for, and speak from your heart into their heart. May you be peaceful, happy, and light in body and spirit. May you be safe and free from injury. May you be free from anger, afflictions, fear, and anxiety. May you learn to look at yourself with the eyes of understanding and love. May you recognize and be in touch with the seeds of happiness within yourself. May you identify and embrace the sources of suffering in yourself. May you nourish the seeds of joy in yourself every day. May you live fresh, solid, and free. May you be free from attachment and aversion, but not be indifferent. And finally, let us bring all species, all beings in our heartfelt prayer. May all beings be at ease in their body, feeling the ground beneath their feet, the water of life surrounding them, the air beneath their wings. May all beings experience joy and well-being. May all beings be well, loving, peaceful, and free.
We will now hear this week's poem from Cynthia West. It's called Become the Gift. Don't ask for anything, because more is being given than your heart can count. Your elders urge you to become the gift you were sent to be. They are fields offering more flowers than you can ever pick. They will remind you your love is a well that can't be emptied. Your grandmothers and grandfathers plant you with knowledge carried across deserts at great risk. Their medicines are candles they teach you to light. Don't let grief keep you from acting. Use it as kindling to ignite the wicks.